This is Laura, and welcome back to Become a Fluent English Speaker. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. Who is the best conversationalist you've ever met? Was it the person who spoke the most? Or was it the person who made you feel heard? A few years ago, I attended a community event where dozens of people were talking, laughing, and introducing themselves. One man stood out. He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't telling exciting stories. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. Yet, people kept gathering around him. Curious, I watched him for a while. Then I noticed something unusual. He asked thoughtful questions, and when people answered, he actually listened. No interruptions. No checking his phone. No waiting impatiently for his turn to speak. He simply listened. Later that evening, I introduced myself. To my surprise, he asked me, "What's something you've learned recently that changed the way you think?" It wasn't the typical, "What do you do?" or "Where are you from?" For a moment, I paused. Then I shared a story about learning English and how making mistakes had become less frightening. He listened carefully. When I finished, he smiled and said, "People remember how you make them feel more than the words you say." That sentence stayed with me. On the way home, I realized something. Most conversations aren't really conversations. They're two people waiting for their turn to speak. We interrupt. We finish other people's sentences. We think about our response before they've even finished talking. But listening, real listening, is rare. The next week, I decided to try an experiment. Whenever someone spoke to me, I focused on understanding instead of responding. I maintained eye contact. I asked follow-up questions. I stayed curious. Something amazing happened. People opened up. Conversations became deeper. Friendships became stronger. Even my English improved. Because listening exposed me to new vocabulary, natural expressions, and different ways of thinking. That's when I understood something important. If you want to become a confident English speaker, don't only practice speaking, practice listening with full attention. The best speakers are usually the best listeners. Listening teaches rhythm, pronunciation, expressions, confidence, and perhaps most importantly, it teaches empathy. Before we finish today's podcast, let's learn some useful English words from today's story. Interrupt, to stop someone while they're speaking. Thoughtful, showing careful consideration. Empathy, understanding another person's feelings. Curious, eager to learn or know more. Attention, careful focus on something. Conversation, an exchange of ideas between people. Connect, to build a meaningful relationship with someone. Now here's today's challenge. Today, have one conversation where your goal is not to impress anyone. Your goal is simply to understand them. You might be surprised by what happens. Before you leave, answer today's question in the comments. Who is the best listener you've ever met and what made them special? I'd love to read your answers. If you enjoyed today's English listening podcast, don't forget to subscribe to Become a Fluent English Speaker. This is Laura, and remember, people may forget your words, but they'll always remember how well you listened. Keep listening, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next podcast.